Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is the second part of structuralism. So this theory was based on superstructure and it rejects the substructure, which means that superstructure deals with the not just with the text but the background knowledge related to the text, and substructure is just the text or the data only, which new criticism and Russian formalism deals with. So in the second part of structuralism, we will deal with how structuralism and literature works and how structuralism and linguistics works. There is a small concept of structuralism, that is, there is a disorder and chaos because we are detached from the superstructure. So structuralism actually rejects the new criticism and Russian formalism theories because it says that we can not only rely on the text itself is insufficient. Then it says that we live in an ideological vacuum, semiotic vacuum, where there is the absence of meaning and purpose. For example, there are few poems and plays and even dramas, novels such as a poem Hollow Man. Then we have another play, Waiting for Godot, and there is even another poem, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. There are many of the poems and literary pieces that there are the concept of nihilism, existentialism and absurdism. Even René Descartes says, I think, therefore I am. This was the period of enlightenment. Structuralism with respect to linguistics. So we'll discuss surface and deep structure, synchronic and diachronic, sign system, Lang and Perol. Surface and deep structure. Surface and deep structure, he believed that the actual structure is the deep structure we need to understand. For example, there is the structure of a sentence, subject, verb, object, simple structure of any sentence. This is the simple structure of any sentence on a surface level. But if we see a sentence, so it gives a lot of meanings and varieties. For example, she is playing in the ground, or Aksa is playing in the ground. Or maybe we add more information, Aksa is playing in the campus ground. So the varieties are more, but we have only one basic structure, that is subject, verb, object. So surface structure is different and deep structure is different, but we need to focus on the deep structure. Surface structure or the basic structure is subject, verb, object. Then we have synchronic and diachronic. We deals with synchronic is across the time and diachronic is specific time. Being a structuralist, we only focus on diachronic because then synchronic are the languages which changes with time, like hat, which changes into has, and confidence word was confidos. So these are the words that were in old language but then later on changed. Sign system is what Ferdinand de Saussure gave us, and it does not only deal with the linguistics, it deals with how cultural anthropologists tells us if a few subjects are taboo or are central inappropriate. So we use sign system. Then we have three types of it: icon, index and symbol. Index is casual relationship between signifier and signified. For example, if something is burning, you can tell by just looking at the smoke. Icon is a close relationship between the signifier and signified. The image of certain things. For example, the image of an actress, you can tell whose picture is this, the replica of a person, not visibly or physically by present through the media. And symbol, no in-word relationship between signifier and signified. Then we have lang and parole. Lang came from the French word, and parole is also a French word that means speech. So, taking the example of a novel, Pride and Prejudice, that was written in 18th century, given that the concept is given of how marriage was the sole issue of that time, and it makes or helps us understand the idea of parole. The language will be different by other authors of different novels, but the message conveyed in one novel will be somehow related to the other novel as well. There is a parallel relationship between structuralism and literature that focuses on genre, operation, and interpretation and analysis. Genre is considered to be how one novel is written on what particular fiction and what it tells or explains the idea of the whole era of that period. For example, Jane Austen, whatever text or literary pieces she worked on, we can understand by just the British fiction if we read that. For example, we have Pride and Prejudice. So it only deals with 18th century marriage issues, money issues. So we can know how Jane Austen took the idea of British fiction and wrote it under the 18th century and the issues related to it. Operation is when how a literary text is composed, the structure of it, how the plot, the characters, themes, ending, climax, the narratology, and the analysis and the interpretation. So there are surface and deep structures. I already have discussed it. And the theme, character development, author considered but not solely. Sentence structure, binary opposition, lang and parole, all the elements explained in the second slide are also there in the interpretation and analysis. So yeah, thank you, and subscribe my channel. Inshallah, I'll make the third part of it and the conclusion part as well. So